crazy McDonald's story. So the person that shared this said that she used to work at McDonald's. Well, this lady pulls through and orders a large high C. The girl working the drive-thru said that when they pulled up to pay and get their drink, she heard a lot of people in the car giggling, but she didn't really think too much of it. So she takes her money. All right, that's $2.50. Thank you. And here's your drink. Then, not even 2 seconds later, as she was turning around, she heard the lady in the car scream, "Fire in the hole!" The woman in the car then threw the large drink directly at the drive-thru worker. But somehow the worker was quick, and she managed to ninja chop that cup directly back into that person's car. Oh! It's all over me! The customer who threw the cup then got very mad and demanded that she speak to a manager. I want to speak to a manager right now. This is unacceptable. The drive-thru worker then tells her manager what happened. They banned her from that McDonald's for the rest of her life. Mom said her son is 12 years old and he loves to play Fortnite. Well, at the end of that particular school year, she saw his final grades and they were terrible. She was really disappointed in him and was trying to think of a way to punish him, to make him learn a lesson. And she thought of his Fortnite account. So she went on there and permanently deleted it. This kid was freaking out, crying, screaming. He said that he had spent 2.5 years working on that Fortnite account, and that he had some really rare skins. Now this kid refuses to eat dinner with his family and is not talking to his mom at all. She told him that he is responsible for this because he is the one that got bad grades. He thinks that she went way overboard. What do you think?
Teachers are starting to realize that kids are using ChatGPT. There's a website called Quillbot, which you'll go here and get the paper. Then you take it from there, put it on Quillbot. Then Quillbot makes it seem like you wrote it, so the school cannot track.
Not anymore. Quillbot is detectable, as you can see right here. I mean, this is the proof. Quillbot does not work anymore, but there is a solution. Use this tool instead to beat Turnitin and GPT-0, and it's completely free. It's called Grubby AI, and it's an incredibly effective AI text humanizer that is 100% undetectable by AI detectors. School's right around the corner, and I think this thing's gonna save your life. I'm constantly ruining my shoes. Look at these Hokas. These are brand new. So I wanted something that's gonna last. I ordered some Nordiv 8's military hiking boots. Yeah. For under $100, these things are insane, and they're definitely gonna last me. I'm so excited. I like having a clean house, but I hate having to wrap the vacuum cord like it's a freaking fire hose, so I got this vacuum. It's cordless, it's on your wall, and it works so well. Look at how nice it cleans the floor here. There's a light too, so you can see the kind of dirt and dust specks. Look at that. Beautiful job, and when you're done, you just put it right back up. No cord, no folding, it's perfect. This is the Plod Note. It's a ChatGPT voice recorder, and with this, you'll never have to take notes ever again. It records meetings, entire phone calls, it attaches to your phone, and then in the app, it'll list the most important details and summarize the conversation or the meeting or the lecture. It's super sleek as well and small, and the battery lasts forever. The Plod Note is a game changer. I'm gonna use it for everything. This guy was angry for years. We're gonna call him Patrick. Well, 29 years ago, when Patrick was in 3rd grade, he was sitting at a lunch table with some other kids. In the middle of lunch, Patrick pulls out a small bag of carrots. That's when another kid, let's call him Jimmy, looks at him and says, "Look everyone, Patrick's a carrot boy." And for some reason, that incident really stuck with him. Nobody ever brought it up again. All throughout high school and into adulthood, he built up this anger, this raging anger. And whenever he ate carrots, the memory would pop up. Carrot boy! Well, a year or two ago, as a full-grown adult, there's an impromptu high school reunion. He decided to go. He gets there, he has a few drinks, he eats some food, but that's when he notices Jimmy. I don't know. That old anger welled up. That's when he saw a plate of carrots sitting out. He grabs the plate of carrots, he ran over to Jimmy, and... I guess I'm still carrot boy, huh? I'm still carrot boy? Bro, you good? What are you talking about? Carrot boy, remember? You called me carrot boy and you were all laughing at me in 3rd grade? Guess I'm still carrot boy. I'm sorry? I mean, I don't know what to say. They had all forgotten about it. 7 of his old classmates unfriended him on Facebook. And Jimmy blocked him on everything. Okay, so what's going on with school lunches these days? A high schooler took pictures of their school lunches and put it on Reddit, and most of them look absolutely disgusting. Like one day, all they served was a plate of nachos. Here's a nasty looking chicken patty with like 4 fries. The thing still looks frozen. Is this cheese curds and chips? Who's in charge of the lunch? Oh, here's another chicken patty with some different fries, and this one looks even worse. All right, the next one's a hot dog, and this is absolutely abysmal. What in God's name is that? This one's I couldn't even tell you. This one day, they got a Hot Pocket and broccoli. That's the laziest meal I've ever seen. And this last one looks like a beef sandwich and fries. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but it's kind of sus. Is this a problem everywhere? Like, are your lunches good? Or what's going on? Tell me. This kid's an absolute genius. So one of my followers is running a business in his school right now, and he's been running it for about 1.5 years. So this dude told me he carries around a giant backpack and he sells stuff out of it. And there's actually a teacher at his school who helps him sell the big stuff. This guy sent me some pictures of his product. You see here, he's got like soda, candy, there's Prime, there's Oreos. This guy goes all out. Look at this stuff. And for the best part, he sent me pictures of the profit he's made. Look at this wad of cash, just bank rolling in every single day. I mean, come on, obviously business is absolutely booming. He told me in total, so far, he's made over $3,000 and he has no plans to stop. Gotta respect the hustle. Would you run a business at your school? Okay, this would freak me out. So a family was camping in Australia, and they were sitting around the fire eating some food, when suddenly their campsite was invaded by robber crabs, or otherwise known as coconut crabs. This whole situation is super creepy, but what's even weirder is how they don't seem to care at all. This dude's eating, this dude's just scrolling on his phone. This girl seems to be enjoying herself. Australians are built different, I'll tell you that. Markets kids ran in their schools. This one did not work out so well for this guy. When he was in school, he tried to run a business. So the school had 2 Wi-Fi signals. One was public for the students and the other was private for the teachers. Obviously, the private Wi-Fi was the faster one. Well, this kid somehow got his hands on that Wi-Fi password. And he thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna sell this password to other students at the school. And so he found his first customer. I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password. Do you want it? Yeah, I want it. I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. 50 cents? Easy. Here you go. He felt good. He made his first sale, and he was planning on making a lot more money that day. So after that next class was lunch. He was going to walk around and try to sell this password to more students. I have the private Wi-Fi password. You want to buy it off me?
Oh, Billy told me it already.
Oh, okay. Hey, so I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password.
I got the password from Billy.
Hey, you want to buy the teacher's...
No, Billy gave it to me, man.
Does everyone have...
Yeah, I think so.
Billy! Steven, what'd you get in the test yesterday? I got a C. I got a B, idiot. You, man. Oh, bro, you swore. I'm telling the teacher. You better not. Yes, Gregory? Can I go to the bathroom? Yeah, sure. You? What'd you say? Office, now. Oh, man. Hello? Is anybody in here? What's up? Yo, are you only wearing one sock? What the frick, dude? I don't want to talk about it, okay? Okay, so this is crazy. It was pizza day at this one dude's high school. He took a bite of his pizza and it tasted nasty. Here's the pizza in question. But he noticed on the bottom of the slice of pizza there was this weird stuff on there. Now, it could have been just the flour or the powdery part of the crust, but he was still skeptical. So he brought this slice of pizza to his science teacher. And the science teacher tested it. And guess what? That stuff is mold. W teacher, L school. I've had this dream multiple times in the past week or so, and I wrote it down. I'm running around this large, futuristic city. I knew that there was a creepy and strange man that was chasing me and my friends. He would get close, and then we would run to another place and hide. He never caught up to us, but he was always very close. I woke up as he was about to find us. Weird dream, but I wanted to know what it meant. So I did some digging and I found this app called Yoru X, and they actually interpret your dreams for you. So I got it, I copied the dream that I wrote down, and I pasted it inside their app. And they gave me a dream interpretation. Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. Pretty thorough interpretation as well. I like this. The app's called Yoru X. If you have any crazy dreams, try it out and leave your dream interpretations in the comments. I want to hear them. I hate going to the dentist, and if I was this person, I would throw up from embarrassment. Alright, so the person that shared the story, she said it was the first time seeing her new dentist. He was working on her teeth, and he says something like, "You're doing great. I know it's always weird having a stranger work on your teeth for the first time, but you're doing great." To which she responds, "Oh, you're not a stranger. You've been inside my mouth for 20 minutes now." His face got so red and he was immediately embarrassed, and she was mortified. What did she say? Why did she say that? She did not intend to make a raunchy joke like that. Well, her dentist remained professional. He finished the appointment, and she left. A couple months passed, and now it was time for her second appointment with this dentist, and she told herself that she was going to be on her best behavior. She wasn't even going to say a word to him. She's in the dentist chair, he's working on her teeth, and all of a sudden he gets very uncomfortable and red in the face. And she's like, "What did I do? I didn't even say anything." Well, it turns out her dentist was wearing flavored gloves, and she had been absent-mindedly licking his fingers the entire time, and she didn't even know it. After that, she never went to that dentist ever again. This woman was arrested. Here's why. So her son was in elementary school or middle school, I think, and he told her one day that he was getting bullied by some kid at school. This kid would always steal his water bottles and his drinks and stuff like that, and call him names. Well, she couldn't stand to hear that. Her name is Jennifer Rossi, and she came up with a plan to get back at this bully. One day, she mixed together lemon juice, vinegar, Gatorade, and salt into a sports bottle. She gave it to her son to take to school the next day. And like clockwork, during PE class, this happened. "Hey, idiot." "Yeah? Give me your water bottle." Apparently, the kid then got violently ill and was sent to the hospital. There was then, of course, an investigation, and that's when police found out that this woman was the one who deliberately made this drink to give to the bully. What do you think about all this? You shouldn't have stolen the water bottle, right? It's crazy that she's in jail. Here are some disgusting school lunches. Okay, the rice looks fine, the carrots look fine, but what is this disgrace of chicken nuggets? Like, come on. This kid got one slice of turkey covered in gravy and sliced carrots for lunch. And yes, that was all that the school was serving that day. This next one's absolutely horrible. It was a high school in New Jersey, and they were serving beef and cheese sandwiches for lunch. And this is said beef and cheese sandwich. This next one is from a school that was serving chicken patty sandwiches. One day, this kid took a bite of his sandwich, and this is what he saw inside. That is the nastiest chicken sandwich I've ever seen in my entire life. What the hell is that? Alright, this next one is mac and cheese served with garlic bread. And last but not least, this person got an apple with their school lunch one day. They realized something was weird about it, so they cut it in half. And this is what the apple looked like inside. Absolutely disgraceful. Have you ever caught a stranger in your house? Well, here's the story. This girl said that her friend Jenna had just moved into a very nice condo, and she finally got to check out her friend's new place. When she arrived at her friend's new condo, her friend was still at work. So her friend told her, yeah, I'll be off soon, just let yourself in. There's a key under the plant out front. Oh, yep, there it is. Alright, see you soon. So she let herself into her friend's condo and decided to make herself a sandwich. So she's eating her sandwich, walking around, checking out all the nice stuff her friend has, when all of a sudden the front door opened and a large man with a duffel bag walks in. Oh my god! She threw the sandwich at him and locked herself in the bedroom. She's in there scared. She's shaking. The man's banging on the door. "Get out of the room right now! Get out! No, you get out! I'm gonna call the police! You're gonna call the police! I'm gonna call the police!" That's when she thought something was off. Why would he call the police? She then looks around and realizes the bedroom definitely seems to be that of a man's bedroom. She then asks him through the door, "Do you know who Jenna is?" "Yeah, she's my next door neighbor." Turns out this guy also kept a spare key under the potted plant out front. What a crazy situation. Dumb reasons people got in trouble at school. It was grade school and it was the end of the day. This kid got on his bus, but the bus driver had to wait a few minutes to leave because there were still some students making their way to the bus. So the bus driver suggested they sing a song. "Alright students, we're gonna be heading out here soon, but while we wait, let's do a little sing-along, okay? Let's sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." That's when this one kid said this. "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star sucks." "What did you say to me? Twinkle Twinkle Little Star sucks?" That's it. The driver then went back to where this kid was sitting and dragged him off the bus and pulled him by the arm to the principal's office. Come on. Heck? "Yeah, Miss Henley, this kid threatened me. You should give him a detention, make him stay." "I did not." "Sit down. I'm calling your parents." His parents were then called and they were forced to pick him up. They raised this issue to the school superintendent. He then checked the footage of the bus, and they obviously saw that this kid didn't do anything that bad. In fact, the bus driver shouldn't have grabbed him like that. He was fired. Markets kids ran in their schools. This one is absolutely insane. So this kid in middle school ran a revenge business. He wouldn't hurt anybody at all. That wasn't part of his business. But anything aside from that had a price. He carried a notebook around with suggestions of things he could do for revenge. If somebody wanted to get revenge on a classmate or something, they would come, look at his notebook, see what they can afford, and then hire him to perform that revenge plot. If somebody wanted to get the ultimate revenge, they would pay him for the ultimate package. And this is what it is. This kid would get a garbage can, fill it with milk, eggs, meat, and roadkill that he would find on the side of the road. He would then put the lid on it and keep it out in his backyard in the heat until it started to rot. Then he would bring this garbage can to the person that he was hired to get revenge on. He would take the lid off, lean the garbage can against the door, knock on the door, and run away. Now, when someone in the house opened the door to answer it, that garbage can would fall in and spill everything everywhere, causing a rotten, disgusting, smelly mess. He told me he was never caught, he never got in trouble, and he made over $700. Dumbest reasons people got in trouble at work. This guy was chilling at home when he got a call from a manager of a company. Hello? Oh, hello, Greg. He answers. Well, Greg, you didn't show up for work today, and honestly, I have had enough of your bullcrap. You are a disgrace to the Comcast company. You're ignorant, you're selfish, you're incredibly selfish, you waste all of our time. Your mother would be so disappointed in you, Greg. You can be quiet. What do you have to say for yourself? The call went on for a while, but the thing was, my name isn't Greg, and I definitely don't work at Comcast. I actually just started at Dairy Queen last week, but good luck to Greg, huh? Sounds like he's in big trouble. Okay, bye. God darn it. Can somebody get me Greg's phone number? I don't think I have it, but why don't you just ask him what his number is? He's sitting at his desk. Wait, he's here today? Yeah, it's his birthday today. He brought everyone donuts. I had like 3. Shit. For some reasons, people broke up. So this person was an EMT, and she was on a second date with somebody. They went to the movies, and they were seeing Twilight, New Moon. Well, about halfway through the movie, she noticed a man 3 rows ahead of her having a seizure. Oh my god. What? That guy's having a seizure? Oh, he's fine, just watch the movie. But she knew that he obviously wasn't fine, so she made the theater stop the movie. Stop the film! Stop the film! She then went up to the guy and helped him out until the ambulance showed up. After the guy was taken to the hospital, she noticed her date had left, but he sent her a text. He said that he couldn't believe she made the theater stop the movie for some guy, and that she should have never done that, and that he never wanted to see her ever again. That's nuts. This is the weirdest school business I've ever heard of. My father would send me the story. When she was in 3rd grade, she would bring her pet turtle to school a couple times a week, and she would charge kids $5 a minute to hold the turtle. And people actually paid. I guess they really liked turtles.
I like turtles. All right.
Business was booming, so one day she upped the price to $10 a minute, and kids were still paying to hold her turtle. But she was starting to get money hungry, so she tried to up the charges to $15 a minute to hold her turtle. Well, one kid had enough of her raising the price, so he told the teacher, and the business was shut down. She made $700 in total. This person is the worst. So this guy was on a first date with this woman that he just met. They were having dinner and it was a good time. She then started talking about a time when she was in high school. Her favorite car was a Jaguar, and she really wanted one. But her dad bought her a Prius instead. She wasn't very happy, so she crashed that Prius on purpose. Now that the Prius was crashed, she thought her dad was gonna get her the Jaguar. But no. He bought her another Prius. Once again, she was very upset, so she crashed the Prius again. Her dad must have learned his lesson, because then he bought her a Jaguar. Talk about spoiled. I'll deal with a bully. Let's dive right in. Look, there's Steven. What a loser. Hey, Steven! Oh, what's up, Billy? Bro, you're an idiot and nobody likes you. What'd you say? I said you're an idiot and no one likes you, man. Loser. Hey, are you okay, man? What? I'm just wondering if you're okay, man. Why are you so mean and uptight? Is everything good at home? Shut up, dude. No, for real, man. Cut the crap. Honestly, are you good? Actually, man, it's been pretty rough at home. My parents have been fighting a lot recently. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Cry, baby! Guys, look, he's crying!
You're so dumb. Your parents are getting a divorce. You smell like my mom.
This dude is crazy for this. So the guy that shared this story said that one day, in middle school, he got to school early. And he noticed that there was a school bus in the school bus lot that was running, and there was nobody in it. So he decided to get in the bus, and he drove away. He took the school bus on a joyride around the town. He had been driving for about 20 minutes before he realized, oh, I better get back to school. His class is starting soon. So he drove the bus to a wooded area near the school. He drove it inside and left it there. He then walked to a gas station near this wooded area and used a payphone to call the police. Hi, yeah, is this the police? Good. There's a school bus running in this wooded area by the Shell gas station. Somebody better come get it. He then walked to school, went to class. The police found the bus and took it back to the bus lot. He was never caught, and the school bus wasn't damaged at all. Nobody ever knew what he did. Until now. He said he kept that secret for years. But now that he's older, he said it was too good of a story not to share. Yeah, that's kind of legendary. The best pranks of all time. One day, this kid found out that he could make a perfect dolphin noise. His parents and his siblings all thought it was amazing. Well, one weekend, they were on a boat on Lake Michigan. It was one of those tourist boats. They paid like $10 each to go for a nice ride. Well, while they were on the boat, the kids started doing the dolphin noises. What was that? Even the ship captain came out. Attention everyone, am I going crazy or did I hear dolphins? The rest of the boat trip, people were very confused. Because there are no dolphins in lakes. Pretty crazy about the dolphins, huh? This is a lake. Why did we hear dolphins? That's insane. Anyway, have a good one, okay? Hey, you too. Idiots. One middle school teacher said that she had a class pet, a goldfish, that she loved very much. Well, one morning she got to school and she went to go feed her fish. All right, Felipe, time for breakfast. Felipe? Felipe? The fish was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The tank was empty. That entire day, she was incredibly sad. She announced to her class, "Hello class, this morning I walked into the classroom to feed Felipe, and he is no longer in the tank. I have no idea where he is. I don't want to point any fingers, but I didn't move him, so that means one of you had to have taken my fish." No one said anything. Until later that night, she was sitting at home when she got a text from one of her students. It was a screen recording of a Snapchat story. Snapchat story showed a kid putting Felipe the class fish into a water bottle, and then giving that water bottle with Felipe inside of it to a random person on the street. Oh my God. She never saw Felipe again, and that kid was suspended. Ketchup on Chicken Tender Day is an absolute necessity, and my school has plenty of ketchup packets, especially on Chicken Tender Day. Well, I really needed to make some money to pay for that new Skibbity toilet plushie to add to my collection. Oh yeah. So on Chicken Tender Day, I went into the cafeteria right before lunch, and I took every single ketchup packet and shoved them into my backpack. Then I stood by the ketchup table holding a large ketchup bottle of my own. My plan was in full effect.
Oh my gosh, where's all the ketchup? I can't have my chicken tenders without ketchup.
Yeah, it turns out the school's all out of ketchup today.
Aw, man.
I actually have a full bottle of ketchup right here. I can give you a few squirts.
Oh my god, amazing. Thank you so much.
That'll be $1 for one squirt.
$1 per squirt? The school's ketchup's free.
Well, the school doesn't have any ketchup right now, do they?
Fine, I'll take it. Here's $1.
Thank you. Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Tell your friends. All right, who's next? Today's gonna be a good day. Haunting of Maple Street. As Halloween approached, the neighborhood of Maple Street buzzed with excitement and a hint of fear. For years, children shared stories of the old Jenkins house. The Jenkins house was the creepiest, oldest house on the street that had been abandoned for decades. Mysteriously, the house remained untouched since the day Mrs. Jenkins was found dead inside. Well, on Halloween night, the neighborhood was buzzing with anticipation. Everybody was out trying to get their candy. Well, three friends, Jess, Sam, and Lucy, were walking by the old Jenkins house. But to their surprise, there was a flickering, creepy-looking sign on the front yard that said trick or treat. Oh, we shouldn't go up there, you guys. You heard those stories, right? Yeah, something doesn't feel right about this. Oh, shut up. Those stories are fake. I want my candy. Let's go. The door creaked open. It was an older lady standing there. A trick or treat? The old woman slowly turned her head up and said, "Treat? Or trick?" The three kids ran away in complete fright. The sound of laughter echoed the streets. The old Jenkins house came alive once more that Halloween. And those three kids never forgot what happened on that doorstep.
Okay, so I have the Bulldog ramen, but this time it's 2 times spicy. So I thought this one was spicy, but this one looks crazy.
Now we're gonna boil some water. Now that it's boiling, we put this into the boiling for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, now we drain the water. Now it says to add the 2 times spicy hot sauce. Then you add, last step is the pepper flakes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think if you like spicy stuff, this is gonna be awesome for you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so I'm gonna take one bite. Let's see. Delicious, but very, very spicy. An old man was lying in his bed, dying, when he smelled his favorite cookies being made. He rolled out of bed, crawled into the kitchen, and saw the cookies sitting on a tray on the table. And with all of his strength, he reached to grab a cookie. That's when his wife smacked his hand and said, "What are you doing? Those are for the funeral. Get back in your bed." This kid cheated on his test in a genius way. So at his high school, whenever they took a test in a specific class, they would grade all the tests as a class. So you would be grading your own paper, but the teacher would make sure that you only had a red pen at your desk. So when you were grading your own paper, you could only use a red pen. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He never studied for tests. He said he didn't really want to. So what he did in this class was he took his red pen, opened it up, took out the red ink pen thing, and replaced that with a black ink pen thing. Looks like a red pen, but it's actually black. So when the teacher is giving out the answers and the students are grading their tests in the red pen, this guy would be fixing everything he got wrong. And it would look like he was grading his tests, when in reality, he was changing his answers. He said this worked every single time, and he got an A on every single test in that class. Black markets kids ran in their schools a follower submission. When this kid was in middle school, he ran a study guide business. And these weren't your run-of-the-mill study guides. These were well-detailed, easy-to-cover documents that covered every single major test and quiz for the whole school. He had a group of students working for him. They were called the contributors. They would help him write and construct these study guides. He sold these study guides for $10 to $20 depending on the test. He also hired some of the bigger kids in school to be the muscle. The muscle kept the blacklisted kids from playing any playground games, like basketball or soccer. Kids could be blacklisted for a number of reasons, like borrowing a study guide and never paying back what's due, or for lending a study guide to any non-paying individual. This dude sent me screenshots of the documents he actually used. This is the terms and conditions that came with every single study guide. Pause if you want to read. This is the blacklist Excel sheet. He even had an employment contract for every single one of his employees. He was very efficient. He made about $100 a week, and $600 a week for the bigger tests. And all I can say is for middle school, this is one hell of a business. Listen to this. This guy said that he recently graduated high school, and it was his 18th birthday. His parents took him on a cruise. All right, son, for your graduation and for your 18th birthday, we are going on a cruise. Happy birthday, son. Oh my God, thank you guys so much. I'm so excited. How long is the cruise? It's a week-long cruise. Now, none of them have ever been on a cruise before. But this kid had friends who went on, so he knew what to expect. So he told his parents, all right, Mom, Dad, I was doing some research. Cruises are different than regular vacations, okay? We have to follow the schedule, especially when we're on the excursions on the islands. Can we do that? Yeah, son, of course we can. Yeah, son, of course we... Honey, please. Well, it was 2 days into the cruise, and the ship had stopped at an island. This kid's parents were shopping and bargaining with locals. They were having a good time. But it was time to head back to the ship. Oh my gosh, you guys, we better head back to the ship now. Hold on, son, I'm talking to this man. I'll give you $20 for the backpack. Fine, I'm heading back. He gets on, and the boat immediately takes off. Without his parents. They were mad. I cannot believe you. Thanks for ruining our vacation. They had to then book and take a flight to the next island to catch up with the ship. They didn't talk to him for the rest of the trip. They blame him for not making the boat wait for them, which is absolutely bogus. What's buying my bags of chips? I bought so much to sell at school today, but I haven't sold one. Bro, it's because everyone goes to the vending machine. Are your chips cheaper than the vending machine? No, man, they're more expensive. I'm trying to make bank. No, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Fine, man. Hold on. I have an idea. Hello, vending machine, my enemy. Shut your mouth. I'm gonna unplug you. Oh, I'm gonna unplug you. And now I wait.
Excuse me, I just want to get to the vending machine.
Unfortunately, it's out of order. It's not working.
Oh, really? I wanted some barbecue chips so bad.
You're in luck today. I actually have a bag full of chips for sale. $4.
$4? The vending machine's only $2.
Well, the vending machine isn't working, is it?
Fine, I'll take them. Here.
And here you go. Tell your friends. Today's gonna be a good day. Craziest things found in fast food. In 2015, this man, Mr. Dixon, went to a KFC. He ordered the chicken tender meal to go, and he took them home to eat them. But as he was sitting down enjoying these chicken tenders, one of them tasted strange and was kind of chewy. He then gave that piece a closer look, and he saw what looked to be a deep-fried mouse. Completely disgusted, he took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook. The next day, he took it back to the KFC, and he told the manager. And the manager freaked out and said, "Yes, I am so sorry, that is a mouse. Would you like a free meal?" she said. He declined the meal, took that fried piece of mouse back home, and hired a lawyer. But the people at KFC corporate were not buying it. They had this guy send that mouse to their offices to be tested. And I guess it was actually chicken and not a mouse? That seems a little sketchy because that manager was pretty sure it was a mouse. This vice principal is the worst. This guy said it was the beginning of his senior year in high school, and he was sitting at lunch with a bunch of his friends. He was drinking a Snapple. Dude, no, that is totally crazy. Doesn't make any sense. No, bro, I'm serious. She's a whole snack. When all of a sudden, his Snapple slipped out of his hands and shattered on the floor. Notes. Oh, no. Well, the school's new vice principal was in the lunchroom that day. She heard the crash and saw him picking it up, and she freaked out.
You, come with me. No, now, no, you.
What did I do?
You used a glass bottle as a weapon. You were trying to cut someone.
I dropped it. She took him to the principal's office. He was freaking out. It was an accident. She was so mean that he was crying. He was suspended for a week and his parents had to pick him up that day. Well, 2 days later, the vice principal checked the security tapes, and she saw clearly that it was an accident.
We saw the videotape, it was an accident, but you can understand why I would think what I thought, right?
Can I go to class now? Fast forward to the end of the year. It was that high school's graduation. Billy Stevenson.
Okay, so I have the bulldog ramen, but this time it's 2 times spicy. So I thought this one was spicy, but this one looks crazy.
Now we're gonna boil some water. Now that it's boiling, we put this into the boiling for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, now we drain the water. Now it says to add the 2 times spicy hot sauce. Then you add, last step is the pepper flakes. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so I think if you like spicy stuff, this is gonna be awesome for you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so I'm gonna take one bite. Let's see. Delicious, but very, very spicy.
Morning, sweetie, how'd you sleep? Well, I had a dream that something terrible was gonna happen at the school dance on Friday. Well, that's just a nightmare, baby. Eat your yogurt. I put pineapple in there. Oh, yummy pineapple. I'm actually not hungry, Mom. I'm going to school. Morning, bro. What's up, man? Nothing, dude. Who's that? Oh, that's Greg and Marissa. They're a year ahead of us. Oh, okay. You good, bro? I'm going to class. So this is going to be a really easy way for you to do this equation. It says 7 plus pineapple is 16 plus pineapple is 40. Johnny! You will die on Friday. What did you just say? No sleeping in my class. Pay attention. I gotta go. Something horrible is going to happen on Friday. Hey, come with us. We'll explain everything. What the fuck? 5 disgusting school lunches. Up first, we have a chili dog type lunch. And this one's not horrible, but it definitely does not look very appetizing. Up next was from a school that was serving chicken sandwiches one day. And this was the chicken sandwich that they were serving. Next, this is a meatloaf meal, I think. Is that meatloaf? I don't really know. It's definitely a super weird thing to serve at school lunch. Alright, this next school was serving pizza and mozzarella sticks one day. And here is a picture of that lunch. The pizza doesn't look cooked, the mozzarella sticks look nasty, and what are those? Garbanzo beans? Disgusting. And last but not least, another school lunch pizza, but this one was completely molded. Whoever served this to students should be fired. Okay, this is hilarious. My follower sent me this story. She said that one day she was at her boyfriend's house when she had to go poop very bad. I have to go to the bathroom. But the bathroom is right next to her boyfriend's bedroom, so she figured she'd have to be quiet, otherwise he would know she was pooping. So she goes in there and sits down. What is that? She sees that the bathtub is full of water. So she asks her boyfriend, hey, so the bathtub's full of water. Is someone taking a bath or something? Or am I still good to go in there? He responds, yeah, my sister's really pregnant and she's gonna give birth at home, and that bathtub is for the water birth. Oh, okay. Obviously that's kind of weird, but she goes to the bathroom anyway and she starts pooping. And mid-push, the door bursts open. Oh, it's coming! The baby's coming! Talk about embarrassing. What would you do for a shamrock shake? Well, this dude went to great lengths. He was sitting in English class one day. His English class was on the first floor of the building. As he was sitting there, he realized, today's the last day of the year for shamrock shakes. He had to do something. He didn't want to wait till after school because they could be all gone by then, or they could stop selling them early. But he had to get his hands on one last shamrock shake, so he waited until his teacher's back was towards them. He then quietly opened the classroom window and jumped out. He ran to where his bike was locked up. And he biked all the way to McDonald's. Shamrock, shamrock. He got there, he went in, he ordered 1 shamrock shake, please. And they gave it to him. A fresh, green shamrock shake. He biked back to school with the shamrock shake, locked his bike up, climbed back through the window, and sat down in his desk. Well, obviously the teacher saw him climb back in with the shake, and he was given a detention. But he said it was absolutely worth it. School made a huge mistake and it exposed everybody. So this one high school had just upgraded their Wi-Fi. New routers, faster speeds, all that, people were hyped. But then, one day, students woke up to an email from the school's IT department. It was an auto email. The email contained a log of every single website people visited on that school's Wi-Fi. This log was emailed to every single person in the school, teachers included, and people were losing their minds. People were freaking out. One kid tried to delete his own Google account. Another kid just left school like it was over for him. He was just done. He left. Not only this, teachers were freaking out as well. The gym teacher quit that day. And although a crazy, technical, weird thing happened, the principal looked at these logs and decided that there was going to be consequences for certain websites that were visited. And one by one, students began getting called into the office. Crazy things kids did at school. One day at this person's middle school, a teacher saw something on top of one of the lockers. What is that? Beef jerky. It was a full pack of beef jerky. He obviously took it down and threw it away, which is a waste in my opinion. Well, the next day, that same teacher noticed it again, a full package of beef jerky on top of that same locker. What in God's name? And that process repeated every single day. He would take it down, a new one would show up. He would take it down, a new one would show up. He even tried to stake out to catch whoever kid was doing this, but he never caught them. Well, word spread around school about this mysterious beef jerky situation, and kids were invested. This happened for an entire month. Sometimes the location of the beef jerky would change, but still like clockwork every single day, there would be a beef jerky on top of a locker somewhere. After a month of this, it suddenly stopped, with no explanation, and the person who was doing this was never found. That's kind of awesome. Whoever did that's an absolute legend. This kid's mom is sus. The person that shared this story said that his friend's mom wouldn't let them watch SpongeBob. Hey, we should watch some SpongeBob. No. My mom will get so mad. Dude, she's in the other room. Like, it's just SpongeBob. She's not gonna get that mad. They're watching SpongeBob. No. Patrick is such an idiot. What are you doing? Oh my god, Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We're just watching SpongeBob. It's not a big deal. SpongeBob is not allowed in our house, Kyle. Go home now. Now. Okay. And you get upstairs right now. Bring your Bible and the rosary. I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. Yes, ma'am. Dear God. Why was she so against SpongeBob, you ask? It's because she thought the holes on SpongeBob's body would induce evil, sinful, and dirty thoughts. This kid was in middle school. He bought a shoe customization kit, and he was skilled enough to design stuff like this on people's shoes. Well, he decided to start a business. He charged kids $10 for him to customize their shoes. But more and more people started getting interested in this, and business started booming. So he raised his price to $50 per customization. Things were going great. He was running this business for 3 months, until one day the vice principal walked in on him in the bathroom designing some shoes. The vice principal saw him and told him that he had to ask the principal if he could continue. Well, the principal said, yeah, for sure, keep going. And he did. He continued this business for 7 months. But then one day, a school board official was visiting the school, and the school board official caught him in the bathroom as well. He was then shut down completely. In total, he made about $11,000. That's insane. Interesting facts about lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you know that you're in a dream. You can control it and do whatever you want, like literally. I taught myself how to do it when I was younger, and it is awesome. Did you know that time moves slower when you were in a dream? One person apparently lived a lifetime in a lucid dream. She said it felt like she was in there for 100 years. And she wasn't stuck, she said. She said it was epic, but it only actually happened over the course of a night. When you lucid dream, you can create a world, cities, houses, and even people that you can revisit every time you're back in that dream. It's like you have 2 lives, your waking life and your dream life. Dream characters are people that your subconscious puts in your dream. So say you're 100% lucid, you know you're dreaming, and you walk around a city. If you ask a question to somebody walking around, their answer is actually your subconscious talking to you. Have you ever had a lucid dream? Crazy things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was in middle school, one night he was having dinner at his friend's house with his friend's family. The dinner went well. The food was really good. But once everyone was done eating, the mom did something kind of repulsive. She took everyone's plates and put them on the floor. She then called the family dog into the kitchen and had the dog lick all of those plates clean. The mom then put those plates that the dog just licked clean back into the cupboard. And everyone in that family acted like it was completely normal. He said he was disgusted and he threw up that night because he was probably eating his food off of a dog-licked plate. He never went to that house ever again. Guy and his buddy were called to do a plumbing job at an old lady's house. She called them because she was hearing some weird noises coming from some pipes in her attic. Oh my god, thank you so much for showing up. I keep hearing noises up there. I have no idea what it is. Oh, don't even worry. Yeah, no, we'll head up there right now and see what's going on. Yeah, don't worry. We got this. And there was nothing wrong. Just old pipes. Yeah, man, looks like everything's fine up here, dude. Probably just some old pipes. I have an idea. Watch this. What did you do? He then walked right downstairs and told this old lady, yeah, ma'am, it's a pretty messed up situation up there. One of the pipes was on the verge of bursting and it just burst. It's gonna be a pretty big job, maybe around $5,000 to fix.
Oh, well, I guess I can ask my son for some money. I think I'll be able to pay for it. When can you fix it?
Today. I can fix it today. He couldn't believe that his buddy did that. He felt a lot of guilt for not telling that lady the truth. And when he eventually did turn his friend into the company they worked for, too much time had passed. She already paid, the pipe was fixed, and there was no way to prove what he did. The kid ran a super weird business at his school. So, in middle school, this kid noticed something weird at lunch. Kids would come back to the table with their lunch trays, but a lot of them wouldn't touch their carton of milk. And they always had milk because the school forced them to take it, even if they didn't want it. And that's where he got his idea. He started collecting these untouched milk cartons every day from his friends. After lunch, he would stash them in his locker. They were still cold. Then, during the last period, when the sports teams had their practices, he would take the milk to the gym and try to sell them for $1 a piece. Now, I don't know what he was thinking, because who in their right mind would drink milk or chocolate milk during a sports practice? And as you can imagine, business wasn't really booming at all. Although there were some super weird kids that did buy this milk from him. He tried doing this business for a couple months, but one day there was an awful smell coming from his locker. The janitor opened it and found upwards of 60 cartons of milk in there, rotting. The principal obviously shut him down and he was suspended. You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. This hungry college student accidentally built a $200 million empire. So this guy, Seth Berkowitz, was in college back in 2003, and one night he was craving cookies. Nice, warm cookies. But there was a problem. He didn't have a car, and nobody delivered cookies that late. So he took matters into his own hands. He baked a batch himself. He tried it and they were pretty dang good. And he figured other students probably craved the same thing late at night. So he started selling them. At first it was a simple side hustle. He would take orders, bake these cookies in his tiny dorm kitchen, and deliver them himself around campus until 2 a.m. Baby, word spread pretty fast. By 2004, he had so many orders that he had to rent out a real kitchen, hire some help, and turn this into a full-on business. And let me tell you, business was absolutely booming. And what started as a small campus gig turned into something he could have never imagined. By 2018, his company, Insomnia Cookies, had over 260 locations across the United States, Canada, and the UK. That same year, Krispy Kreme bought a majority stake in that company for around $140 million. And today, Insomnia Cookies is worth over $200 million. And this started all because this dude wanted a snack back in 2003. That's absolutely insane. Mom is the worst. When this kid was in middle school, his mom one day forced him to give all of his Pokemon cards to his cousins. These weren't just regular Pokemon cards. These were 1999 Pokemon cards with a few first edition holographics. So imagine that today. How much money would that be? A crap ton. Well, 3 weeks after he was forced to give his cousins these cards, he was at their house for a birthday party, and he wanted to check on those cards himself. He went into their room and looked around. That's when he saw a box, and in that box were the Pokemon cards. Torn up, spit on, chewed up. These cards were completely destroyed. He said he never forgave his mom for that. And recently, he has shown his mom how much those cards could have gone for. And needless to say, she knows how bad she messed up. When this kid was in 6th grade, he asked his teachers if he could get paid to clean up gum from under desks and chairs. They said sure. So he was getting paid $5 every time he cleaned up gum. Well, the principal found out about this and asked him if he could clean up the gum from under the tables in the lunchroom. He said sure. It was a nice little side hustle, but then he had a brilliant idea. He was gonna start selling gum. So he started buying these packs. This one's only $5 from Target. It's 8 packs with 15 pieces of gum in each pack. That's 120 pieces of gum, and he sold each piece of gum for 50 cents. He was making $60 after selling one whole thing of gum. But here's the kicker. Every time he sold somebody a piece of gum, he asked them when they were done with the gum if they could put it underneath desks or the lunchroom tables. So he would have to clean up the gum more often and make even more money. School printer hustle. One of my subscribers sent in this story about a business he ran in school. So when this kid was in 9th grade, his school charged 10 cents per page to print anything from the library computers. Now the library had some of the only printers in the entire school, and nobody carried cash or change on them, so this was a real pain in their ass. And the school system would not take digital payments, so kids were constantly begging teachers to print stuff for them, which the teachers thought was annoying. Well, one day this kid noticed a printer sitting in the corner of one of the unused computer labs, unplugged. It was just sitting there collecting dust. So at the end of the day, he went to that computer lab, grabbed the printer, and tried to get out of the school as fast as he possibly could. He made it. He went home and he had the printer with him. He spent $20 on ink for that specific printer. He then got a big duffel bag and set the printer up in his duffel bag. The next day, he started offering his own printing service. But unlike the school, this kid was gonna take digital payments. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, you name it. He even took lunch trades. He printed it all. Homework, essays, last-minute assignments, nothing was off limits. At first, he just charged 5 cents per page to print. He wanted to undercut the school to get the business, but once word started to spread, it didn't matter. People were willing to pay up to 50 cents per page, just because it was convenient. Some teachers who didn't have printers in their classroom and hated using the library printers started paying him as well to print out worksheets for their class. And bingo! By the end of the semester, he had so much business that he had to bring a second backpack to carry all the printer paper in. This wasn't just a side hustle. This was a full-blown underground print shop. Genius. Teacher is the absolute worst. At this one middle school, in math class one year, there was this very awful teacher. She would scream at her students, refuse to answer any questions, and she would act very aggressive at very small things, kind of like she had anger issues. Well, one day in this math class, they were going over the answers to a math packet, and one girl in this class, let's call her Tina, flipped to the next page a little too early. Well, somehow, from all the way across the room, the teacher noticed this, and she stormed over. Are you in a rush, Tina? Because if so, you can take your stuff and you can leave. She smacked her hand on Tina's desk, and Tina was horrified. She started packing her stuff, getting ready to leave. Well, apparently, Tina wasn't fast enough because the teacher grabbed her by the arm, shoved her out of the classroom into the hallway, and slammed the door. And stay out there! After class, her friends found Tina crying in the hallway. And so, when they got to the next class, which was PE, They told one of the coaches, and the coach did not like to hear this. You said what happened? Alright, well, you guys just hang out here, okay? I'll be back. After PE, everybody that was in that math class was brought into the dean's office, and one by one they were questioned. And just before Thanksgiving break, that horrible, awful teacher was fired. That's karma for you. Black markets kids win in their schools. At this kid's school, for some reason, the cafeteria didn't season anything. The food tasted frickin' bland as heck. And obviously, people like their food to taste good. So one kid had a brilliant idea. He went on Amazon and bought a bunch of those salt and pepper packets. He took that to school and he sold them 50 cents each. So if kids wanted one salt and one pepper packet, that would be $1. He was selling these salt and peppers left and right, and kids were happy. Everyone was like, yay, no more bland food. You're our hero, man. Yeah, you're our hero. He only did this for a few days before a school administrator shut him down. But in just a few short days, he made over $300. Gotta respect the hustle. Well, we all knew this would happen. This is Barry, and when his family hadn't heard from Barry in a few weeks, they called the police to do a welfare check on him. And what they found was absolutely brutal. When they got to Barry's house, the door was unlocked, so they went in. They found Barry lying in his bed in a pool of blood with a stab wound to his stomach. They noticed a blood trail, so they followed the blood trail to the kitchen. And on the counter were 2 frozen burger patties with a piece of paper stuck in the middle. Next to the patties was a knife with blood on it. Well, turns out a few months prior to this, Barry had suffered a stroke, which caused him to have limited mobility. So on the day of his passing, Barry must have been trying to separate these burger patties, as we all have at one moment. Banging them on the counter, trying to get that knife in there, trying to separate those patties, but he must have slipped, and that knife must have went right into his stomach. He accidentally stabbed himself. Freaked out, he pulled the knife out, put it on the counter, went to his room where his phone was, sat on his bed, and tried to phone the police. He didn't make it. Rest in peace, Barry. This kid is a kingpin. When this dude was in 8th grade, his school had a huge problem. Apparently, the school's lockers sucked and they kept getting jammed, which caused a lot of students to be late for class all the time because they couldn't get their lockers open. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He saw this as an opportunity. He realized that these lockers weren't that hard to unjam. People were just kind of stupid, he said. So he went to the janitor. Hey, so about the jammed locker situation, I know how to open them. It's not that hard. I can help students unjam their lockers in between classes. The janitor said, that sounds good, man. I'll pay you $1 for every locker you unjam. He was going to pay him $1 for every locker this kid helped fix. Now, at first, it was just a very small hustle. He was making a few bucks a day. But then he had another brilliant idea. Instead of waiting for lockers to jam, he started jamming the lockers himself. He would do anything. He would stick an eraser inside the lock or try to jam something in between the locker frame. You know, something that was just enough to make them seem broken, but it was easy for him to fix. Well, he went crazy on this one day. And by lunchtime, tons of students were panicking because none of their lockers were open. They were all jammed. And guess who they went to for help? This kid. Since he already gained a reputation as the locker guy, he was the guy to go to. Teachers were even recommending him to students. So not only was he getting paid by the janitor for every locker that he fixed, some kids were so desperate to get their books or their lunches that they started paying him extra to get a priority fix. He was making double, if not more. And let me tell you, business was booming. This kid wasn't just solving a problem. He was also creating the problem. And that's absolutely genius. You gotta respect the hustle. Kid's parents are crazy for this, so this guy said that on his 5th birthday, he woke up very excited for the day. He was hyped, he was bouncing off the walls, and his parents were obviously irritated. But instead of sucking it in and letting their son have a great 5th birthday, this is what they did. They made him get into the car, told him that, oh, we're just getting some ice cream, son. I love ice cream. And they drove off. But they didn't go get ice cream. Instead, the parents drove this kid to the local orphanage and said this to him. You see this, son? It's an orphanage. You can either choose to behave, or we're dropping you off here right now. What? No. Get out of the car then. Get out of the car. No, I'll behave. They then went back home and told the kid to go to his room. And that's where he spent the rest of his birthday. In his room, crying by himself. What's wrong with parents? This lady said that when she was growing up, she had 3 brothers. She was the only girl in the family. For some reason, her mom just didn't like her, I guess. She would always say things like, my focus is on raising my boys. I love my boys. I love your brothers so much, and I don't love you. Which is, yeah, what the hell is her problem? But that was her reality. She started saying this stuff to her at the age of 8 years old. And growing up, she never got a birthday party once. But all 3 of her brothers got birthday parties every year, and they were huge. When she turned 16 years old, during one of her brother's birthday parties, she blew up on her mother and left. Before that party started, she had recorded her mom saying messed up stuff to her. And right before she left, she played that video on the TV in front of her entire family. I don't know what you want from me. My focus is on raising my boys. I love your brothers so much. I don't love you. I love your brothers so much. Those are my boys, but I definitely don't love you. So now everyone knows what went on behind closed doors. After that day, she'd never talked to her mom ever again. This kid was in middle school. He would make these things all the time. They were called paper wasps. These folded pieces of paper you put in a rubber band and you shoot them at people. Well, this kid would occasionally sneak up on his friends and attack them with his paper wasps. And yes, they hurt very bad. But nobody ever got back at him because for some reason, his paper wasps were far superior than anybody else's. So this kid got an idea. He started making tons and tons of paper wasps. His secret in making his paper wasps was using the right amount of paper. And after it was done and folded, he would staple the tip. The staple was used solely to increase pain on impact. Well, business was absolutely booming. The kid was pretty much an arms dealer at his school. Eventually, because of his business, full-blown battles were happening throughout the school day every single day. He was eventually shut down, but in total, he made over $400. This dude is sus. Okay, so at this one person's high school, there was this dude, and everyone called him Crazy Leo. He was like 6 feet tall, he acted and said weird stuff all the time, and he had crazy eyes. Well, the girl that shared this story said that one day, in chemistry lab, Crazy Leo came up very close behind her. Immediately, she was sussed out.
We dare not forget today that
I mean, Crazy Leo was acting freaking crazy. Well, he then asks her this. Can I have one of your hairs? What? Can I have one of your hairs? Sure, fine, take it. Thank you. She said yes just to get him to leave her alone, and he plucked a hair straight out of her head. Once he got the hair, he walked away back to his seat. He then turned on the Bunsen burner in front of him, lit the hair on fire, and inhaled the fumes. Good old Crazy Leo. One day at this one high school, the science class was dissecting sheep brains as a part of a science lab. Well, as the students were cutting up bits and pieces of the sheep's brain, I guess one of the kids had a pretty crazy idea. He took a few pieces of the sheep brain and put them in his pocket. And that day during lunch, he put pieces of sheep brain in the self-serve ranch bowls. So when the students went to serve themselves ranch, a few of them would get brain on their plate. Pizza day, ranch with pizza, ranch with pizza. Oh my god! At first, obviously, no one knew it was sheep's brain. They thought it was a human brain. The rest of that day was absolute chaos. Worst Halloween costume ever, so this kid really wanted to be Pennywise for Halloween. He was very, very excited. So his mom ordered him a Pennywise costume. The costume came in, and he tried it on. And this is what the costume looked like. One kid had hundreds and hundreds of zip ties, and every day he would zip tie a bunch of people's stuff to different things, like backpacks to desks, lunch boxes to railings, belt loops to chairs, and people were getting so pissed. And they wanted revenge. So what this kid did was he sold them zip ties. Business was booming because he did this to a lot of people. They bought zip ties from him and got him back. And once they were all done getting revenge on him, they started doing it to other people. And then those people wanted revenge on them. So they bought zip ties from him. He made hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And he had a lot of returning customers. Nice. Whoever made this is sick in the head, okay? It's a bounce house. It's a Pikachu bounce house. Just, everything about it is really messed up, okay? Just see for yourself. Hey, what's up, Dad? Hey there, son, how was school? It was fine. Got a lot of homework to do, but how was work? Ugh, not one customer today. I made 0 money, but that's not your problem. Don't worry about it. Okay. That sucks. My dad owns his own tire shop, but it's super slow. He's been very sad. So, I had an idea. That next morning before school, I went into my garage and I got every single sharp nail I could find and I shoved them into my backpack. I then rode my bike to the neighborhood by my dad's shop and I threw nails all over the streets. Tons of them. Hey, what's up, Dad? Oh, hey, son, how was school? It was pretty good, man. How was work? So many customers today. There was a line down the block. Apparently, everyone blew their tires out this morning or something. I was very busy. It was a good day. That's good to hear, Dad. I'm really happy for you.
Communists may be doing it, not because of votes, but because
Businesses kids ran in their school. When this kid was in 5th grade, his parents always bought packets of those Mini Bites muffins, which personally I love. But for some reason, these muffins made this kid's throat hurt. But no matter how many times he told his parents, they still continued to buy those muffins. Every day, this kid's parents would put a pack of those muffins in his lunchbox, and every day during lunch, he would throw those muffins away because he did not like them, like I said. Well, one day a kid saw him throwing those away. Hey bro, why are you throwing those away? He said, I don't like them at all. They make my throat hurt, but my parents keep buying them, so I just throw them away. Well, that's when this kid said, dude, those are awesome. Why would you throw them away? I bet you many kids would buy those. And he got an idea. He soon started selling them. He began asking his parents to give him 2 for lunch every day instead of 1. And he gathered a bunch up. His parents had to start buying more boxes of these muffins because they thought their kid loved them. But little did they know, he was gathering a stockpile of these muffins up in his locker so he could sell them to students. And that's exactly what he did. He sold them to students, sometimes for $2 a bag, sometimes for $5 a bag. Sometimes, depending on how desperate somebody was, he would sell it for $15 a bag. And he ran this business for a few years. He kept a notebook of how much he made. And from 5th grade until the end of middle school, he made around $3,500. Gotta respect the hustle. AI killed his essay writing business, so he started a genius new business. After he realized AI has been causing his essay writing business huge problems for obvious reasons, he decided to start something brand new. It's called Grubby AI. Grubby AI is a tool used to humanize text and bypass AI detectors. You just put your AI content right here, press humanize, and there you go. Grubby AI is guaranteed to bypass AI detection, and to be honest, this might be the only thing of its kind out there right now. It's absolutely genius. Black markets kids ran in their schools. So this kid's business started when Prime came out, and everybody wanted to get their hands on some. Well, he was the same. He looked online, he tried to find some to buy, and he was able to get some from a local store for a decent price, so he bought a bunch. One day he came to school with $120 worth of Prime, and students were swarming him. Everyone wanted to buy this product. Business was absolutely booming, and this kid was incredibly hyped. That first day, he sold $220 worth of Prime. That's $100 profit. Business kept like this for a while. He was making decent profit, he was selling a ton of Prime bottles, and students were happy. Well, there was one student whose mom worked for the school, and the student told his mom what this kid was doing, selling Prime and making money. When this kid found out that he was snitched on, he thought he was going to get in trouble, suspended, something like that, but that is not what happened. Instead, the school concession stand started selling Prime as well. Thing is, the school concession stand was open all day long, whereas this kid had to sell his Prime at recess or lunch only. So it was an unfair advantage. So now this kid is in competition with the school, and he's selling his Prime for less. But he's still making profit because he has some exclusive flavors that the school doesn't have. But still, this kid is struggling to keep up because of their unfair advantage of them being open all day long. This story was sent to me almost a year ago, and at the end of it, he asked if anybody had any advice on how he could revive his business and continue to make profit. Well, I'm sorry, my friend, for seeing this so late, but I hope it all worked out. Gotta respect the hustle.
This device can save your computer and other things from power cuts. It's called the Golden Mate. You plug it into the wall, and there's 4 outlets on the back right here.
You can then plug in stuff like your computer or your Wi-Fi router, and if the power ever goes out, this thing takes over, allowing you to quickly save and safely shut down everything without hurting your device or losing stuff. Alright, let me show you. So I have my computer plugged into the Golden Mate, and the Golden Mate is plugged into the wall. Alright, the Golden Mate is on, my computer is on, but watch what happens when I unplug the Golden Mate itself. Like I said, it's still running, and it's going to take care of your equipment while you safely shut it down and save your files and whatnot. This thing is great. Plus, it looks awesome. This thing would also be amazing for, like, medical equipment. Say you have some important medical equipment and the power goes out, that stuff would keep running while you figure out your next move. Click that cart right now to get your very own Golden Mate and keep your devices protected. I promise it's worth it. A woman was living inside a family fair sign in Michigan. On April 23rd last month, some contractors were working on something at this family fair store in Michigan when they noticed a very long extension cord leading up to the roof. They got to the roof, and they saw the cord going directly into the small door of the family fair sign. They decided to knock on the door, and that's when they heard a woman's voice. They were obviously startled, so they called the police.
Yeah, I was trying to get my stuff so I can get down right away. I'm moving out of here and 24 hours to get away from home.
You're coming out right now.
The inside of the sign was about 5 feet by 8 feet, and this woman had been living there for a year. She had put flooring down. There was a Keurig coffee machine, a small bed with bedding, her clothes, a mini desk, and a printer. And all of this stuff was powered by that extension cord. They called her the Roof Ninja.
Not too bright out here, that's good.
nor in the life of this administration.
I had another weird dream last night, and I want to show you something. Every so often when I have a really vivid dream, I want to write them down. And that's because when you write down your dreams every night, it helps you remember them more often. And when you remember your dreams more often, you're more likely to have a lucid dream, which is a dream that you know you are dreaming and you can do whatever you want, which is obviously awesome. So I use this app called Yoru X. I wake up from my dream in the middle of the night, I open up the app, and all you gotta do is press this button. And bingo, there you are. You can write down your dream right there. The coolest part about this is that the app will actually generate an AI image of your dream. It'll also interpret it for you. You can label it if it was a lucid dream or a nightmare, and you can make your dream diary entries public or private if you want. Check out this person's. They had a dream about a sorcery school. They wrote it down, the app interpreted the dream for them, and this is the AI generated image that the app made for that dream. Download it, write down your dreams for a whole week, and let me know the craziest dream you had. Check it out.
আমি চাই তুমি ভালো থাকো। আর শোনো, যে জাহাজটা যদি সত্যি সত্যি বানাও তাহলে আমাদেরকে ইনভাইট করো। হ্যাঁ,
তুমি সারাক্ষণ সমুদ্রের সাথে ফিস করে কথা বলবে আর আমি হিংসে করব। আমার হয়তো একটু সাহস বেড়েছে, বোকা ছেলেটা প্রেমে করেছে। আর বিড়ি নিয়ে গেছে, বিড়ির প্যাকেট একটাও ছাড়ে নাই, সবগুলো দুমড়ে মুচড়ে বের হয়ে চলে গেছে। খাবো কি?
ও সরি, আমি আমার কাকে কি বলি? তুমি তো আমার 1,00,000 টাকা বেতনের চাকরিই করো না, তুমি কি হয়ে দিবা?
আমি বুঝি আমার মেয়ের সিকিউরিটি। শোনো, তোমাকে 15 লাখ টাকাই দিতে হবে একটা।
কিন্তু আমি এখানে এক মুহূর্ত আর থাকবো না। আমার এখানে দম বন্ধ হয়ে মারা যাবো আমি।
শৈলী রাতে বাড়িতে চলে এসেছে। তাছাড়া
তুমি যাচ্ছ বিপরীতে, আবেগ বাড়ছে বহু।
ভাই আজকে না ভাই, বুঝছেন কাজের চাপও বেশি, আর বাসায় ফিরতে হবে। সিঙ্গেল মোড
মানে পরিচিত কোনো আদার্স ভালো অপশন যদি থাকে সেখানেও আমাকে একটু রেফার করেন।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, তুমি প্যারা নিও না।
ওইভাবেই বাবার সাথে কথা বলবো। এখন তুমি কি বলো বলো, কিন্তু এখন আমাদের একটা সুস্থ জীবনে ফিরে আসা উচিত, একটা নর্মাল লাইফ লিড করা উচিত।
না হলে না হবে, আমার কোনো প্যারা নাই তো। আরে চাকরিটা
আর কত বলবো তোরে?
শোনো মা, প্রোগ্রাম আছে, ওটা শেষ করেই আসবে, আমাকে বলেছে, কথা হয়েছে।
আর আসছে যেমন ছেলে।
হ্যাঁ বাবা।
জানি আপনি স্টকের ব্যবসা করেন, সিন্ডিকেট কইরা
এর মধ্যে ওর প্রেমে পাগল হয়ে যাব। আচ্ছা তুই বল এটা কি সম্ভব? কেন সম্ভব?
ভাই আপনার জেল খাটাইছে ভাই, আমার বুকটা ফাইটে গেছে, আমি 3 দিন ঘুমাইনি, কষ্ট আমার বুকটা ফাইটে গেছে, আমি অনেক কষ্ট।
শ্বশুর আর তানিয়া আমার বউ, আমি যদি তগো এলাম তানিয়ার চেয়ে কম হইবা কেন? তুমি তানিয়ার চেয়ে বেশি সুন্দরী। আরে কিন্তু আমার আব্বাস সাহেব তোর আত্মীয় লাগে। এখন তুই যদি আমার শ্বশুর এলাকার ভাবি, বড় ভাবি, তোরা সবাই এগো ফ্যামিলির। তানিয়া, আমার তো মনে হয় তুমি 3 দিনের দিন
আল্লাহ জানে কি শুদ্ধ এটা।
এই রিকশা,
এই ঘটনা ইতিহাস হয়ে থাকবো যে সেলিম ভাই ভালো।
আরে জুলি গেছে বাইরে মনে কর পিক করতে, বুঝছো?
মিনিমাম 1700 লাইন কবিতা লাগবো। তুই 700 লিখবি।
পাচ্ছি লইতেছি।
আমি তোমার ভালোবাসতে পারলাম না। তুমি অনেক ভালো।